You know, I've talked about customer service, or how do you say, fandoms interacting with creators in that particular fandom. Now, you could look at comic books, you could look at video games, you could look at television, you could look at movies, literally anything, board games, trading card games, however you want to pass the time, you can get at and you can interact with those that created that thing. And while there are many good things that happen from that, there are also many bad. And I should mention that people who have a social media presence online, who represent a brand or something, they're not always in the wrong to protect themselves. And there are still a lot of good licenses out there. There are a lot of good things in Marvel and Star Wars and a lot of good memories in that. And before I get into the story, a huge thank you and shout out to Displate for sticking around in these uncertain times. They're giving 30% off right now. Check them out. You know, with everyone sitting at home staring at perhaps some empty walls, I've never been happier to be partnered with Displate, which always gets new collections in, and just got a huge Mandalorian collection that you'll see go through my set cycle up in the upcoming weeks. They're high quality prints on metal that mount to the wall super easily with a magnet. You can swap them out, you can build collages, and so much more. I'm so thankful that Displate has continued to support the channel in these uncertain times. Tired of looking at some boring walls? Well, I've got a great solution for you that not only will fix that, but will also help support the channel, and that's Displate. These are high quality prints on metal, which also mount super easily to the wall via magnets, which allows you to build large collages or swap them out however you see fit and how often you see fit. Displate has great brands to choose from: Star Wars, The Witcher, Cyberpunk, Marvel, Angry Birds, whatever you could possibly be into. So I've assembled some of my favorites in the pinned comment below, as well as the link in the description. Check them out today, support the channel, and pick up some sweet new wall art. Thank you, and I know not everyone's in the position to be getting wall art, and I appreciate that. And if you are and you choose to, I greatly appreciate that too, and you'll save 30% only for 3 more days. So pick up some Displates today. Anyway, so Heather Antos, which was really the flashpoint of a lot of the Marvel Comicsgate type community, make mine milkshake conversation, but she is just the perfect personification of the privilege that many of these creators inherit when they get to work on our favorite brands or our favorite video games, and their sheer lack of respect for it, or any respect at all for the fandom. Now, I understand that if people are being genuinely mean or disingenuous, these creators can absolutely have every right to block them. I do think I see a lot of like owns on Twitter, but then I scroll up and I see that the person was being just really ridiculous. I wouldn't hold that against them, but I just thought, as a thought experiment, as a fun little, example, I'd speak to Heather Antos. I hope that you watch this, because you're really messing up. Proclaiming that America has the worst fans might feel like a funny own or a funny statement to make, but ultimately people remember this and it gets attached to you forever. I've never seen somebody with so much opportunity, for example, being at Marvel. Now you're down at Valiant, while you are getting promotions there. Just a month ago, Heather Antos and Alicia Hawkins promoted to Valiant senior editors. They put out a press release about it. Rip Valiant. Rip Valiant. Congratulations, lady. Hope you prove your critics wrong. Not sure if Heather suffers from Dunning-Kruger effect or if it's just the residual accolades from her former superiors that wanted to cheat on their obese wives with her. Zoinks! Milkshakes for everybody. This is just an example. That was years ago, and everyone will always remember that, Heather Antos. Former Marvel Comics editor, this is via boundingintocomics.com, and now senior editor at Valiant Comics, Heather Antos declared that America has the worst fans. Twitter user HunkTears asked, what thing has the worst fans? Simply replying, saying, America. 1 retweet. 1. And look at all these replies. You're currently in second place behind my friend who said Jesus Christ. What can I say? The worst fans. Blue checkmark hates America. Color me shocked. So this is how pencils down is going for you. And people wonder why the comics industry is in a ditch. This was their poster girl for 2014 and 2018. Like, literally, they modeled Gwenpool after her. And a book she was an editor of, by the way. Creepy. If you don't like it, leave. No one is forcing you to stay. When you say things like this, as a known face of comics, you make the industry look bad. And on and on and on. I think the replies prove my point. That's like the embodiment of the, throw a Garbo opinion over the fence, and then when you get blowback, be like, see, I was right. And by the way, don't contact her, please. I just want this to be a conversation for us to have here. And most of these people are... I cannot stop laughing at the fact that all the douchey replies quite literally proved your point. Yeah, but when you disparage an entire country... I mean, I can't imagine if she said the United Kingdom, if she wouldn't get blasted there either, right? She would double down, saying, what can I say, the worst fans. Antos will be heavily criticized for a response. At least one person mocked Marvel Comics America series. Nice to live in a country that allows you to express your disdain for it. You could always leave, though. Most people would be happy to see that. For once we agree. I mean, just all the backlash. Antos would respond to the replies claiming they justify her answer. This shouldn't come as any surprise. Antos is quickly becoming synonymous with idiocy rather than a comic book editor. Back in 2018, she famously tweeted, "He has risen, JK April Fools." I don't really care about that joke. I'm not offended by that. Her time at Valiant has seen a significant decline in comic book sales. Sales to retailers, as reported by Diamond Comics from January 2018 to 2020, decreased by 48%. The average number of copies shipped decreased nearly 40%. Antos joined Valiant at the beginning of 2019. She is currently editing Quantum and Woody, The Final Witness, Exo Manowar, Shadow Man, and another fan-favorite franchise that will be announced later this year. The newly released Exo Manowar was panned by die-hard Valiant Comics on the Valiant Fans Forum. One user described the Antos edited series as absolutely atrocious and a disgraceful entry into the Valiant universe, they added. These guys should be ashamed of themselves for publishing it. It might actually be worse than the infamous Exo bike idea. But folks like this don't understand that it's really a privilege. No, they don't have to respect it. They could just go about their way, right? But when you argue with fans, she actually put out, as you see, maybe the next time you feel the need to lash out against those who speak out in support of minorities, ask yourself why you self-identify as a bigot and feel the need to defend those actions. What? She's literally saying, stop criticizing me. I support the right people. By the way, I support everybody, including minorities. Does that mean I should be impervious to criticism? That I should be able to just say whatever I want without getting criticized? She also goes on to say, I think some people need to ask themselves why they self-identify as an a-hole and feel the need to defend the urge to set harassment and threats online. Again, this is always the comical, mysterious deletion threats that people always say they have. And this was in response to what I can say was a very level-headed reply. I think that's why people are lashing out, because you're labeling them with a harsh terminology. Any business people always focus on customers first by being professional towards them no matter what, how rude they may be, just giving some friendly advice and trying to say help. They also need to work on reading comprehension, but that may be asking too much. She also deleted this tweet, I believe. Comic professionals aren't customer service representatives. A single tweet has never been a better example of why modern comics are failing. You put a lot of these people in the spotlight and they ended up being garbage. They ended up thinking that, you know, people wanted to follow them because they drew Spider-Man, but then they think that they want to tweet about Drumfall Day, and then they get mad when the people that follow them don't want to see that. And they lash out when people don't care about their opinions about the current political climate. And they go back and forth with fans. And then they wonder where all the customers went. Can you actually publish some of these deletion threats so we know you actually exist? Because frankly, it's far more likely that you're lying. And you see this, I'm tired of getting a-hole comic fans thinking industry professionals owe them unearned respect. I can only imagine how frustrating it is for you. Listen, you don't owe us anything. You don't owe comic book fans anything, especially ones that are being extraordinarily mean to you. That doesn't mean it's not an idiotic business decision. That you, going at it with fans, whether you're a comic book creator, whether you're a video game creator, whether you're a board game developer, what kind of absolute moron would push their customers away? These are the same people right now that are completely broke, and they've been given the pencils down saying, stop what you're working on right now, because nobody wants to buy it, and we can't even distribute it right now because our industry is so paper thin that the biggest distributor there is went broke after 2 weeks. Didn't have money to pay their vendors. You owe the fandom a lot of respect. If you don't think you can behave and not say stupid things like America has the worst fans, you're talking 350 million people. America probably still buys the most comics, I guess, if you don't include manga or anime type stuff. At least the comic books, America clearly buys the most. So you're going to say they're the worst fans. And then be shocked when you get some sort of blowback. A better example of this entitlement in the industry I can't think of. And this is exactly why you continue to fail and why you will continue to fail until comics is but a memory and is completely independent, because that's the only way these business models can even work anymore. And by the time somebody like Heather Antos figures it out and goes to Indiegogo or Kickstarter to put out her own book, everyone's going to remember these tweets, Heather. Everybody's going to remember them, and they're not going to support you online. And when you do your Kickstarter, you do your Indiegogo, you start your Patreon, and you try to advertise it, everyone's going to fill your mentions with all these terrible things you've said. But you do you. You have every right to destroy your own business and argue with the fandom. Good luck with that. Hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.